Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Oh, I should probably rename myself. We were just talking about names. Hey, so we are going to get started shortly. This event is being recorded, so you'll be able to look at the recording afterwards. While we get started, if you can just put in the chat your degree program so we can just know who's in the room with us today. And this is our resource discovery series with APHA's Big Interview and Resume AI. So we're going to hear from a rep on the multitude of ways you can use Big Interview. And this is a perk that you have with your free student APHA membership. So if you already have access to APHA, this is a great tool to use. If you are getting your access next term, still a great tool to be aware of. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our presenter. Oh, and you will also, like I mentioned, you'll be receiving the links and everything afterwards and any important resources through a handshake event. Jennifer, go ahead.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time to join today. So today I'm going to be doing an overview of the Big Interview platform. I'm going to show you the ins and outs on how to navigate the platform. I'm going to reserve any questions for after the overview. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by sharing my screen. I'm going to go ahead and start here. So when you do want to work within the Big Interview platform, the URL that you'll use is apha.biginterview.com. I'm going to drop that into the chat box just for reference. If you already have an account, of course, you're just going to go ahead and log in with your credentials. If you don't have an account set up, you'll just click on that register button to follow the prompts to get your account set up. And once that is set up, you'll be able to work within the platform. This user guide is a really good starting point for those of you who are not familiar with the platform. It's going to show you how to register and how to access Big Interview on the web. So if you're using a laptop or a desktop, we do strongly recommend that you use an updated version of either Google Chrome or Firefox for the best experience. If you're using a mobile device, we do strongly recommend downloading our mobile app that's available through the Apple Store or Google Play. The user guide will also show you the different areas on the platform. For example, I'll show you what the dashboard looks like, the Learn area, practice section, the My Videos section, assignments area, big resume, how to scan your resume. And then this is also going to link to our support email. If you ever have any technical trouble or any general questions or something else, you can always reach out to our support team. The email is support@biginterview.com, just for reference. I'm going to click out of here and go directly to our demo site. This is going to look a little bit different than what you guys see on your end, just because we have every upgrade feature embedded into here. But starting here, this is what you'll see when you first log in. If you're not familiar with the platform, I do recommend clicking into Getting Started. This is just going to show you a broad overview on how to navigate the platform. You can also click on this little Help Center widget as well. This will also link to Getting Started videos. There's some other information here that I'll cover at the end of the overview. There's also a little accessibility widget. If you click into this area here, if you need to adjust your screen settings, you can do that from this area. We also have this little chat widget. Again, if you do have any questions again or any technical trouble, you can reach out to our support team through that little widget as well. Scrolling down the bottom here, let's say you've been assigned an assignment, or maybe you're working on one of our practice sets or curriculum. Any items that are in progress will land here. You'll also see current assignments or practice sets that you have. If you scroll down the bottom of the page, this will also link to our Help Center resource. This does have a lot of good support articles and process overviews on how to navigate the platform. We also do have this little resources area too, and I'll talk about that at the end of the overview. Scrolling up to the top, there's this assignments area. If you've been assigned, oh, I'm sorry, let me just Log back in. If you've been assigned an assignment, you'll navigate to this area here. There are two different ways for you to start an assignment. There's also this how to use assignments video if you're not really sure how to get started. And I do recommend clicking to that if you do need some guidance. The first way to start an assignment is through an access code. So if your instructor or advisor has provided you with an access code, basically, you'll plug in that code here, click go, and then you'll start the assignment that way. The second way is for you to get an email invite. If you've received an email invite to start an assignment, basically you'll get an email with a unique URL. And when you click on that, it'll direct you to that specific assignment to start. Any active assignments will be housed here. Any assignments that you have submitted for advisor or instructor review will land in the submitted area here. From here, you can check the grade that you received. You'll also get an email once your assignment has been graded as well. Moving on to the Learn area, interview curriculum. From this area, we have a couple of different tracks, playbooks, and curriculum. The FAST and the Mastery track basically covers best interview practices. For example, the FAST track, this is something that we would typically recommend for users that have an interview coming up fairly soon, for example, 16 video lessons. We also have the Mastery track that's a bit more comprehensive, 50 video lessons. If we click into the FAST track here, this is basically what it'll look like. From the fast track, this is going to cover things like interview fundamentals, acing common questions, and closing the deal. So within each section, there'll be some videos to view, a practice question, and then just a quiz to test comprehension. Once each item's completed, there'll be a green check mark on the right-hand side. You can also check your progress at the top here, and there's also a transcript of all of the video content below. There's also some optional homework that you can complete as well. Clicking into the mastery track, again, this is the same format. It's just more comprehensive. So this is going to cover things like interview basics, acing common interview questions, behavioral interview questions, and then some playbooks for common challenges. So again, within each area, there'll be some videos to view, a practice question, and then a quiz to test comprehension. You can again check your progress at the top here. There's a transcript of all of that content, and again, some optional homework that you can complete. We also have something called interview playbooks, and this is geared toward different life situations. So you can essentially click into these video lessons to view. We also have job search curriculum, and this talks about how to network and create a really good online presence in the midst of a job search. We have resume curriculum, and this basically shows you how to structure and format a really good resume. Also offers some guidance in terms of how to write a really good cover letter and thank you notes after an interview. We have negotiation curriculum, and this basically has some negotiation basics, some strategy, and advanced negotiation techniques in the midst of negotiating an offer. We have first 90 days curriculum, and this is targeted toward individuals who have landed a position, but they just want to ensure that they're successful within that crucial 90-day period. We also have something called written curriculum, 9 different modules. So this is basically targeted toward individuals who tend to learn better by reading the content versus viewing it. So for example, if I click into module 1, interview basics, your job interview objectives, once I've completed reading this whole section, I'll get a green check mark on the left-hand side of the screen. Also, once I've completed either track, playbook, or curriculum, I'll get a certificate of completion, which will land in the My Certificates area. So for example, if I navigate to that specific area and I click on to Job Search Certificate, for example, it'll show the certificate name, name it was issued to, data was completed. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can download that. And right now it's only downloadable via PDF format. If you navigate up to the page on the right side, your profile name, you can also access any certificates you receive from that area as well. Moving on to question library. The question library basically houses every single question set on our platform. It's pretty comprehensive. So for example, you can click into the general area, and these are general interview questions that you may get in an interview situation. Again, this is pretty comprehensive. You can filter by competency, admissions interview. There's some government related sets and some veteran sets. If we scroll up the page, you can also perform a search query from that search bar. So for example, if I'm looking for behavioral related questions, I can type that in, click enter. And then the system is going to return any questions related to that behavioral type. I'm going to move on to the practice sets area. We're going to see practice sets here. So from this area, again, you'll see that list of practice sets that you can practice from. So for example, within our general area, you'll see question sets like the top 10 questions, entry level set, mid-level, senior level, managerial role, internship, career change, uncomfortable questions, and elevator pitch. You'll also notice that within each set, these sets go from standard all the way to very tough. You can also favorite sets. So for example, I favorited the top 10 question set and that entry level set. Any sets that you favorited will land here. Any sets that have been recommended by your organization will land here. And any custom sets that your organization has put together for you will land in this specific area. Another thing that I think is helpful within the platform is that we have tips and answers embedded into the interview questions. So for example, if I wanted to practice with Stacy, top 10 questions, I click into the tips. Let's say I'm kind of struggling with that tell me about yourself question and I wanted some content on how to answer that. I can click into this tip and this is going to give me some really good content on how to answer that specific question. Once I'm ready to start within a mock interview set, I'll click into practice. This example, we're going to practice with Stacy. That's going to take me directly to that specific set. You'll see the list of questions on the left-hand side. You'll see the first question in the middle here. You can preview the question before you get started.
Tell me about yourself.
Again, there's that little tips button if you're not really sure how to answer that specific question. Once you're ready to start recording, you'll click start recording, 3-second prompt, and then you'll just go ahead and start recording your response. Once you're done recording, you'll hit stop. If you're satisfied with your answer, you can click save answer. Once you save your answer, you should see a green check mark right next to the question that you saved on the right-hand side here. From here, you can also re-record if you don't like the answer that was recorded. You can delete. Any answers that you do record will land in your My Video section. Once you do save your answer, you'll just move on to the next question until you've completed that whole set. From the question set, you can also skip questions. So for example, if you're not really sure how to answer number 1 and you wanted to jump around to number 4, you can do that pretty quickly.
Why are you looking for a new opportunity now?
Moving on to interview roulette. If you navigate to this specific set, this is going to be 20 random questions. You'll see the first interview question, but you will not see the subsequent questions in this set. This set is kind of meant to keep you on your toes. Since the questions are pulled very randomly, they may not pertain to everybody, but basically you're going to record the same exact way. You can preview the question before you get started. And then once you're ready to start recording, you'll just click start recording, 3-second prompt, and then record your response. Again, all of your recordings will land in your My Video section. And then you'll just move on to the next question until you've completed that whole set. Moving on to the My Videos section. So anytime you record a response from either a practice set or maybe an assignment that has been assigned to you, those responses will land in this specific section. You can come to this area to share out your videos as well to anybody you'd like. Right now you can share 10 videos at a time. So for example, if I wanted to share these first 2 videos here, I can click on the radio buttons, click share now. I can either copy the link to share those videos, or I can email the individuals along with a message for those I'd like to share out to. From the actions drop down here, you can also review yourself on how well you think you did on that particular response. You can make that video private. You can re-record from here. You can share from here, and you can delete your videos altogether. You also will not see this AI score column populate since you do not have that video AI feedback feature for your organization. Moving on to build answer. This is a really good place to navigate to if you're working through some really difficult behavioral or situational questions, for example, or let's say you're targeting a specific role. You can come into this area to essentially build out an answer to better prepare you when you do go into specific interview situations or if you're targeting a specific role. We do have this intro to answer builder video. I do recommend viewing this before getting started. Once you do want to build out an answer, you'll click into build an answer, start. You can choose the type of answer that you'd like to build out from here. You can also set up a freeform answer. I'm going to click out of here and go directly to an answer that I've already built out. For example, if you've already created an answer, it'll land in this manage existing answers area, my answers. In this example, I'm targeting a specific role. I put the title of the role that I'm targeting. I also put some bullet points in terms of why I wanted to work for this company and organization and why I wanted to work for this opportunity. You can edit your answers from here, from the actions dropdown. You can also edit. You can export your answer. If you export your answer, it's just going to download in a Word document, and you can delete the answer altogether. Right now, there's no cap in terms of how many answers you can build out. So you can essentially build out as many answers as you'd like. I'm going to move on to the resume area. Since your school does have big resume, you're going to navigate to this grid menu. When you click into the grid menu, you'll see big resume. If you click into here, this will take you to the big resume side. So starting with cover letters, you do have the option to create a cover letter. When you do want to generate a cover letter, you'll click into generate cover letter here. You'll click generate cover letter. Your first step is to either add a job description, or you can choose from one of our job description presets. You can select from an existing job description if you previously added that, which is what we'll do for this example. If you do have a pre-existing job description that you added, it's just going to pre-populate here. The next step is to add your resume. This is optional, but I do recommend adding that resume. You can choose that specific file in either PDF or Word doc, or you can select from an existing one if you previously added that, which is what we'll do. And then you'll click generate. Usually it takes a few minutes for the cover letter to generate. Once it has generated, the screen will refresh and then you can access all the cover letters that you've generated. A couple things to note is that there are 5 cover letters per day. If you max out those attempts, those limits will reset at midnight local time. Clicking into the My Cover Letters area, this is where you can see all the cover letters that you've generated. So for example, if we click into this one for customer service assistant, this is generated version number 1, for example, based on this job title. If we scroll down to the bottom, let's say I do like this generated version, I can scroll down to the bottom and I can download that in either Word doc, PDF, or I can copy all of the text. I can delete this cover letter if I don't like it. If I wanted to generate another version, I can just click into regenerate and the system will regenerate another version of that specific cover letter. Moving into the resume area. From this area, you'll see resume curriculum again. This is already housed within the big interview area for the learn area, but this is housed here just for reference. Resume templates, you will see resume templates if your organization has uploaded some approved templates for you to use. This is basically what it would look like. Basically, any templates uploaded by your organization will land here. You'll see the template name, the upload date, and you can download them from here, and that will just download in a Word document. Clicking into the resume builder, if you wanted to build a resume from scratch, for example, you can come into this area to build out a resume. I'm just going to go to our support article that shows a really good overview on how to navigate the specific feature. So if you wanted to build out a resume from scratch, you'll click on Create My Resume. The next step is to select a resume template. At this time, you're not able to upload a specific template, so you would have to choose a template that's housed within the platform. Next step, you'll select your desired role. Next step, you'll add your contact details. You can also add LinkedIn, personal website, or other information. You can also add a professional summary to your resume. If you wanted to use AI to help you generate some content, you can click on Improve with AI. Some information will pre-populate on the right-hand side that you can use. You can also skip adding a professional summary on your resume if needed. Next step, you'll add your work experience. You'll add the details of your current role. You can write your own bullet points, or you can choose from some pre-generated choices based on AI and based on that job title, which will pre-populate on the right-hand side that you can use. Next, you'll add your education. If you're adding your education, you would just next add your school location, degree, and field of study. You can also add a skills section, or you can just skip adding this section altogether. You can also add custom sections to your resume, and you can also kind of move those sections in any order that you'd like. Again, you can write your own details, or you can use AI to help you generate some content. And then once you've completed your resume, you can download that file as either a PDF or Word document. And this tool is also ATS friendly. Clicking into the scan area, this is where you'll navigate to when you do want to scan your resume for AI feedback, for example. You'll click into ResumeAI, scan my resume now. Your first step is to select a scoring guide. So there are two different ways for you to select a scoring guide. If your organization has set up a public-facing guide, you'll click into this specific area here. If they've set up an invite-only or private-based scoring guide, you'll receive an access code from either an instructor or a career advisor, which you'll plug into this area. In this example, we're going to click into a public-facing guide. So that will be our first step. The next step is to, you can add a job description here. You can select from our predefined list, or you can add a job description, or you could select from the existing job description if you previously added that, which is what we'll do. Again, this is going to pre-populate with that information. Next step is to upload your resume in either PDF or Word doc, or you can choose from a pre-existing one if you've already done that before. You're going to click on Scan My Resume. Usually it takes a few minutes for that resume to scan. Once that scan has been completed, the screen will refresh and you'll also get an email once that scan has been completed. Similar with the cover letter, you do have 5 scans per day, and those limits do reset at midnight local time. Once the scans have been completed, you can click into the My Scans area and then you'll see all of these scans that have been completed here. You'll see the overall score that you received, data was scanned, and the resume that was used. If you click into view feedback, the system will basically show you how well your resume has performed against that specific scoring guide that you used to scan. So clicking into this one, for example, this will show the overall score. It's going to show the scoring guide name. If we scroll down to the bottom, the system is basically going to show you how well your resume performed on each specific metric in terms of readability, credibility, ATS fit and format. If we click into view detailed feedback, this is going to give the user a really good breakdown in terms of how well they're doing on each specific area, along with some guidance from the system. So basically, the system is going to provide some suggestions here. One thing to note with spelling and grammatical errors, sometimes the system will flag some technical terms or foreign language terms that may be correct. If you do know that they are correct, you do have the option to just go ahead and click on dismiss, and the system will just recalculate your score. You'll also see the resume that you use to scan on the right-hand side. The system will also provide you with some best practices as well, and extra credit based on the AI. For example, clicking into credibility. Again, the system is going to flag any areas that may need some work, and will also provide you with some additional AI feedback in terms of how to improve your resume. Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to read the feedback that the system is providing to you, and you're going to make those adjustments outside of the system. Once you do make those updates outside of the system, you'll come into the system again to click on Scan Again to basically scan for that higher grade. So that's basically it for both sides of the platform. A couple things that I did want to mention from this Help Center resource. This does link to our knowledge base, which does have some really good support articles that you can reference. We do have some general support articles here regarding camera and mic setup. If you're having issues with your webcam, you can click into this area to get some guidance. If you're a user, there's also information on user registration, how to complete an assignment, how to share from my videos, or how to complete an assignment on the mobile app. There's also information within the Big Interview platform, and this basically shows you how to kind of navigate these specific areas within the platform if you have questions. Also, within this area, any updates to the platform will be housed here. You can also provide our team with feedback. If you see if there's anything that you'd like to see improved, you can also provide that to our team there. If we scroll down to the bottom, we do have this resources area. If you click into this, it's basically our resources blog that we do update quite frequently. This has some really good information. It has like resume examples that you can essentially peruse through. There's also really helpful articles related to interview prep and other information that you can view as well. So that is basically it for the platform. Any specific questions for me?
Jennifer, this is great. Thank you so much. I'm wondering if you have a few minutes to show us one of the interview videos, just so we can kind of see that in, in real time.
Wait, like a recorded one?
Yeah, so yeah, or one of the interview prep.
You mean just one from like maybe like a practice set?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, let
Just to
me.
get an idea of, what one of the videos would look like.
Yeah, I basically just have some practice ones, so they're not going to be great,
Or
but
even not necessarily yours, but the ones that the platform gives you.
um, well, if we record from a practice set, basically you're only going to see like the user view. We don't have any like examples of like some pre-recorded ones, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, we do have Tina here, who is our career coach, and I definitely wanted her to speak on her
Mhm.
experience with the platform because she's used it many times. So, if Tina, if there's anything, you want to share with us, that'd be great.
Well, just that everybody should get on it. When I share with students and show them kind of like what it looks like and what it could be used for, they were just like, wow, this is great. I wish I knew about it earlier. And it's like, oh, well, it's been in all the communications, but until you actually start using it, you don't realize what a gold mine resource it is. I have had cram sessions with students that are on a Friday, their career appointments on a Friday, and they have an interview on a Monday. And they will say, so like we go through a mock interview and then I introduce big interview to them. And I'll be like, okay, so we've done a little bit of practice with your star stories, but now you could really kind of see a little bit more, take a deeper dive yourself. And so they use that the whole weekend. So after the interview, I connected with them and I was like, well, how did your interview go? And how did the big interview platform help you? And their response was, I used the heck out of that thing. And that it was something that really gave them that practice. And most of the time, it's that preparation of your stories. First of all, developing that content. And then once you've developed that outline and that content, is really practicing the delivery. And that's where Big Interview helps you with both of those, getting your content together, as well as practicing your delivery with respect to the smoothness in which you share it, but also your timing, right? Because you're videoing yourself. The kind of I would say sweet spot is maybe like 1.5 to 2 minute response. If you're under a minute, means you probably didn't give enough detail to tell your star story. If you're over 2.5 minutes, you're rambling, right? So Big Interview is useful from that standpoint, from the preparation, as well as for the practice in the content delivery and timing, and so much more, because they have a curriculum around networking. I have another student who is just like, well, the job search, the 7 to 8 videos on job search half cover LinkedIn, the other half cover networking. And that's what they did this summer. They said, Gina, I spent 1 week. These videos are about 10 minutes, not even 10 to 20 minutes. And they're like, in a week, I got so much information, just spending less than half an hour each morning. So can't talk enough about this platform. And as soon as you get access to it, get into it and use the heck out of it.
Thanks, Tina. That's great. I think
Big Interview didn't pay me, by the way.
thing to notice, I think with the rise of like kind of like those autonomous kind of like interviews too, where you're not really speaking to a direct person, I think the more you practice, it's kind of like that old adage, practice makes perfect. Yeah.
And so some of you may or may not have encountered this already, but certain employers use a platform called HireVue. I'll type that in the chat so that you understand what it looks like. And so what Jennifer was just referring to is, imagine that the screening interview is not a phone call with the HR person. It is, you need to video yourself answering some questions. And students feel like weird about that because it's like they're talking to a computer screen, right? And that will read your body language, your, it's gonna, this is the day and age that we're coming into. And so big interview is great to practice for such high, like screening interviews such as HireVue. I don't know if there's any other platforms that you're familiar with, Jennifer, that utilize that.
I think there are a couple of other ones. I can't remember on the top of my head, but yeah, it's becoming more and more common in the interview process.
Yeah.
So you have to be ready for anything, I think, these days.
Yes, that's for sure.
Does anybody have any other questions? Okay.
I popped it in the chat, but I'm happy to speak out loud. Yeah, again, thank you so much for walking us through this. It looks super cool and super helpful in prepping for a lot of different things. But yeah, my question is really for the big resume tool, does that also help in flagging anything that might not be ATS friendly? We know that a lot of screening is done with AI and other tools. So it'd be helpful to know if that's going to sort of pop anything that might not meet machine needs, so to speak.
Yeah, so it will flag any items that may not be ATS compliant or whatnot as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Okay. I hope you all can hear me. I'm having some technical difficulties on this side, but thank you so much, Jennifer, for giving us this great presentation. I do think this is extremely helpful. I feel like a lot of our students don't know that they have this right at their fingertips with their APHA membership. And thank you so much, Tina, for sharing your thoughts on it as well. So this recording will be available for you all. We'll send it in the Handshake post-event email, and it'll also be available in the resources library. So you can go back to the recording whenever you need to, okay? And you'll get a post-event feedback survey. I'm not going to try to pull up any other windows on my computer because it will crash on me. So you'll get all of that in an email. But thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
To see you soon at our next event.
Yes.
Lots going on this month.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks, Maya.